Hello everyone. It is mid-afternoon on the 29th of April, 2024. Very nice day out. I'm enjoying the warmth. Um, After I got home from work today, I had intended to send my steering gear core back to Mark II Enterprises to get my core refund. On the way over there, I stopped at my mechanic's place, let him drive it again now that I have this other steering gear in it. He agreed. It's definitely a lot better, but neither one of us feels like it's quite right. Like that alignment might still be off a bit. So he's going to make another appointment for me to have them Midas check the alignment again, and this time give us a printout, because they never gave us a printout, before and after, and show where it was in relation to the specifications. I don't even know they can look up the specifications for a car this old. Maybe that's why we didn't get a printout. So I'm going to make sure I bring my shop manual so I have those specs with me in case they don't have them. They got to have them though, because how could they do the alignment without them? So I guess I don't really need to do that, but I'll have it anyway. Um, then I went to UPS store. They wanted to charge me $125 to ship this core back to California from Maryland, and I said, "You got to be kidding me! It cost me half that to ship it out here." And they said it's because Mark II Enterprises is a company, and they get better rates and all that. So what she suggested I do is call them and see if they might be willing to issue me a return tag or something like that. So I'm supposed to call Mark Rosen tomorrow afternoon, California time, and see if I can get him to do that for me, and I'll just pay him for the cost directly, because that $125 for a $300 core that I've already spent $65 to ship out to me. So I've already, by the time I get the core back to them, if I have to pay full price, I've already spent almost $200 out of the $300 core charge. I mean, $100 is still worth getting back, but boy, expensive to ship things. So working on that. I received my bypass hose today from Lincoln Land. It's not what I expected. It's actually much better than what I expected. I was expecting them to send me a used bypass hose for my blower motor. Instead, I got a custom-made, brand new heater hose that's looks like it's 7/8 on one side and probably about 3/4 on the other. And it looks like it's molded to fit properly right in there. So I'm very happy about that. At first I was like, $25 for a used hose? Okay. So new hose, I feel a lot better, especially one that's pre-molded, custom, 2 different sizes. That's good. And then after I get that done, I'll finally install my windshield washer bag. I've also got plans to just go ahead and bleed the brakes myself, since I have, simple bleeder kit and my vacuum pump here to do it. I guess I can do it myself. So that's my goal today. 3 things: the bypass hose, windshield washer bag, and bleeding the brakes. And that should do it for the day. Oh yeah, keep forgetting I've got a switch here to stop this, and it doesn't always work. It started it, but it won't stop it. All right, what I thought was going to be very straightforward is anything but. It turns out this is one of those cut-to-fit hoses. The ends of them are the correct sizes for what I need, and I have clamps that are going to hold them snugly. I'm not going to over-tighten these, just tight enough, because this doesn't have water. It's just air flowing through it, so I just need the clamps tight enough to keep it securely on the fittings. But the only part of this I really need is from about right here to about right there. So I'm going to be cutting that with my hose cutting tool there. And I'll show you more what I'm talking about. At first I thought maybe they meant for me to just kind of contort it to make it fit, but no, it's way too big, as you can clearly see here. I mean, this spot right here is all I'm trying to connect. That's pretty short. So so this part, I checked the fit. It definitely fits like it's supposed to on that one, and the other end definitely fits here like it's supposed to. So that's good. And that same size goes all the way down to about, to this, where it gets bigger right here. So, but I can't have this thing sticking out too far, because then I can't get it lined up with this. So I'm going to start by cutting off as much as I dare. I need to leave enough of the lip on there to attach here. So that shouldn't be too hard to do. Then I'll test it and see where I need to cut on this other part here after the bend. Then we should be ready to install it. So after doing a lot of trimming, as you can see, a little bit at a time, kept testing the fit. I didn't want to trim any more. because once you trimmed it, you can't put it back. So this is the end result, and I think it came out pretty darn good. I'm rather proud of it. So there's no kinks in it that restrict the air anyway, even with the bend here, but that was a preformed bend, so I wouldn't expect it to be kinked there. So I think we're good. So I'm going to turn the motor on real quick just to check for leaks. I'm sure there won't be any, but I just want to see it run. So I guess it would have been more interesting to run it before I put the hose on. So now the motor is running. It sounds very quiet. There's definitely no air getting out anywhere here. So I guess that's a good thing. I mean, that's the way it should look as far as I know. Pretty simple. So now I just need to put my splash shield back in place, hook up my windshield washer lines, put my new bag in, and keep moving on. So funny story here. This is the hose that goes to the windshield washer bag. I couldn't find it. It turned out I had gathered it up with all the other scraps of hoses that I had and threw them in my trash can. Luckily, my trash can hadn't been emptied yet, so I feel kind of silly about that, but at least I found it. All right, I'm going to wrap things up for the day. It was a fairly modest day, but always good to get things done. Very happy to report that my new windshield washer bag is actually holding. You know, the old cliche, the third time's the charm. Well, in this case, it definitely held true. So this came from Classique Cars Unlimited, and they actually got me one that worked. It was more expensive than the one from Old Car Clearance, but, you know, it worked. So I'll take that. And I got my my blower hose on there, so that fender's all sealed back up. I bled the front brakes. I didn't do the rears. It's kind of hot today, and I'm kind of tired, and the brakes feel about the same anyway, even after I bled the front, so they're probably not that bad anyhow. Something else that I'm going to do, I wish I had thought of this when I had the new tires installed. I've always known that one of these rims is not original to this car, because right here you can see this gap right here at the center of the wheel that isn't touching the hub, and it was the same when it was mounted on the rear of the car too. And even though the lug nuts, you know, they keep it centered and whatnot, that bugs me. So what I'm going to have my mechanic do is remount the spare and swap it out, swap the tires and the wheels out with the spare, because the spare wheel is the correct wheel that will fit on there tightly like it's supposed to. So I'm going to have him do that, and then he's going to make another appointment for me to have the alignment rechecked. Just to be sure, so I can get my printout and all that. I drove it several times today, enjoyed driving it, didn't have any problems. There's no leaks anywhere. There's no fresh oil leak, which there shouldn't be. Everything appears to be tight, so I think we're doing good there as far as any leaks go. So I may do some work on it tomorrow. Don't know yet. Maybe I'll bleed the rear brakes tomorrow. Maybe I'll start on that rear door. I've been talking about that for a few months, I know. But anyway, I think that's about it. So I thought there was a third item. No, I guess the bleeding the brakes was the third item. So have a good evening.